Hello, fifth graders. Have you ever wanted to go on a long extended vacation to an island? Hmm. Or have you seen reality shows where there are people left on an island and they have to do some kind of competition with teams of people? Hmm. Competitions can be fun. Wonder if that's why people like to watch those reality shows. Well, in Unit 1, Module B, we are going to be reading several different texts. This first story is situated on an island. Remember, we are using good reading strategies to understand a text. The first text we will use as a resource to practice and apply these skills is called Washed Up. Let's find out what our learning intentions are for today's lesson. If you do not have a notebook or writing journal and a pen or pencil with you, please pause the video and get them now. You will need these tools every time you come to reading class. During today's lesson, we are going to determine the meaning of how to use academic words specifically in a text. We will do these by using context clues to identify the meaning of the words. We will be successful when we use the words in good sentences, our own sentences. We are also learning to quote accurately from the text to explain the inferences we make as we read. We are going to do this by making inferences about the text using specific examples from that text. We will know it will be successful when we use these words in good sentences and when it supports what we inferred. One more focus we will be doing is comparing and contrasting two or more characters in a story. We will do this by drawing on specific details that occur in the text. We will be successful when we discuss the similarities and differences with our classmates, teacher, and others. So let's identify a few words. We'll need to recognize these words as we read through the story. The first word is reality. I am sure you have heard this word before, and even earlier in this lesson, I referred to TV shows called reality shows. Can you name some reality shows that you have watched? Good. You know, some of the shows I like that are reality are like on HGTV, like the home improvement shows, or like tonight last night I was watching Good Bones. Food Network. I like to watch Chopped. Those are reality shows, but can you think of some others that might have characters also? Why do you think all of those shows are called reality shows? That's correct. It's because they are about real people. The definition of reality is the quality of or the state of being real. We could also define reality as truth or nonfiction. As we read the text washed up, let's use context clues to help us identify which meaning is intended for the text. Will it be the state of being real, or will it be defined as being truth or like nonfiction? In your notes, please draw a quick picture of a TV with reality written inside. Then write quality of being real and truth. Let's go on. Our next word is civilization. The root word is civil. By using the root word, we would identify the meaning to relate to ordinary citizens. Ordinary citizens would be courteous and polite. Civilization. Oh, did you write that word in your notebook? I hope so. So what picture do you think you would like to represent civilization to help you remember the meaning? Those are good ideas. I think as you see, I drew stick people with word bubbles. Let's read the word bubbles and see if that helps us understand civilization just a little bit more. Here, I found this paper on the floor and I think it is yours. Oh, thank you. That was very kind of you. And then this dude over here is thinking, everyone is so kind to each other. This is civilization, the way to live together in harmony. Interesting. Do you think that helps us understand civilization a little bit better? Our next word is vide. It's going to be located on page 6 of our text. The root word is a verb, and it means to compete. Oh, we're hearing that word competition and compete and competing a lot. Wonder if that has to do anything with our text. Well, let's look at this. It has several definitions. The first definition for vide, I'm sorry, I skipped. Let's look at our definitions. The word vide is a root word that is a verb, and it is vie, which means to compete. By dropping the silent E and adding ED, we change the word to past tense, which would also change the definition to be past tense, meaning already have competed. As we read the text, let's watch for who was vying for what. And finally, I would like for you to watch for the word ultimate in the text. There are several definitions. The first definition is the final action or process, the end. But another definition for ultimate is probably one you're more familiar with, and that is the best achieved, the mostest, the most imagined. By using the clues in the text as we read, I want you to identify which meaning is intended for ultimate. Remember, we will be looking for the vocabulary words, but we will also be identifying specific details to help us understand as well as compare and contrast relationships between the characters. Washed up. Chapter 1. This is the Indian Ocean's best kept secret, an island so far from civilization you won't find it on any map, an island untouched by humans until now. Pop sensation Barry Blue was shouting out the last word of every sentence over the din made by the Channel 16 chopper she was traveling in. She was so excited she found it hard to stay in her seat. What better spot for the biggest, baddest reality show on the planet? Welcome to Washed Up! What Barry Blue said next was drowned out by the wind. Okay. To help us understand a text better, remember, it's important to identify main characters in a story and the important events. The author begins this story with a dialogue. That means a conversation. Who is speaking? And yes, who is she speaking to? Oh, she's on camera. She's on TV. Barry Blue is speaking. How do we know there will be more characters in the story? Okay, yes, some of you may have looked at the picture. You see more people. However, there's another way we can do this. Okay, what do we know about the story? We know it is a story about a reality show called Washed Up. We also know Barry Blue is the host of the show, not a contestant, don't we? And we can infer there will be contestants on the reality show. As we read, use your journal and jot down the other main characters in the story. Did you get a picture with her? Shen's mother asked, leaning forward in her seat. She looks famous. Shen Lu bit down hard on his tongue. It wouldn't be appropriate to give his mother attitude, but she was clamoring for a photo without even the faintest idea who Barry Blue was, and everyone knew who Barry Blue was. She's a little glamorous for the middle of nowhere, isn't she? Commented Shen's twin sister, May. She's not setting foot on the island, silly, said Shen, directing his irritation at her. She's the anchor of the program. Shh, Listen. I see another word in the text that you might want to identify as a vocabulary word. Remember, vocabulary is not just a list of words given to you by a teacher, but words you do not know. That arrow is pointing down at the word clamoring. How would you define the word clamoring as it is used in the text based on all the clues around it? Thousands of families vied for the chance to be a part of Washed Up, the planet's most talked about Survivor series, Barry Blue was now saying. And of all our applicants, 3 families showed that they have what it takes. I have the first contestants, the lovely Lou's, here with me now. Smile, is Mrs. Lou as the camera's trained on the family, and she posed in a practiced way. So we have some more characters here. Barry Blue just introduced them, didn't she? What would you say is a character trait of Mrs. Lou? Interesting. We can definitely tell she is used to her picture being taken because she posed in a practiced way. What do we know about the Lou family? That's right. Even though the text only talks about Mrs. Lou, Shen, and May, we see that Mr. Lou is also one of the contestants. The other 2 families, the Walpoles and the Garcias, are traveling by boat to the other side of the island, continued Barry Blue. She had the attention of the cameras again before they zoomed in on the sleek speedboat slicing through the unending turquoise waters far below. 3 unknown environments await these families and 3 survival kits. 1 with a mosquito net, others with a length of rope. Then there are tarps, matches, and knives for everyone. I have a question. Why do you think it was important that the author put in what the survival kits were? Seems to be something really important. Let's keep that in mind as we continue reading. For 3 weeks, our contestants must rely on themselves and no one else. The winners get a book deal, a round-the-world book tour, and a generous cash prize. But of course, to win, they'll need your votes, and they'll need to make it out alive. And they will, right? She winked at the camera. So here it is, the island. Isn't it gorgeous? The island rose up before their eyes, an emerald green sea monster. There was a golden strip of sandy beach, a mountain wreathed in mist, and a lush jungle. Shen and May gasped. The island is the ultimate survival challenge for our contestants, said Barry Blue, batting her eyelashes as the helicopter dipped lower. Adapt, win votes, and win the contest. Don't, and who knows what might happen. Did you notice the figurative language? What does the author mean by an emerald green sea monster? It's a comparison, that is correct. It's comparing the island to something, right? Yes, it's comparing the island to the sea monster. We would call it a metaphor, and that's because it's being a comparison, but there's no words like or as to do the comparisons. Good job. I also boxed another word that I did not give you as a vocabulary word. The word is wreathed. How would you use context clues to identify what the author means? There was a golden strip of sandy beach, a mountain wreathed in mist, and a lush jungle. Shen and May gasped. Think about that word. How would you identify what it means? Context clues would include reading before and after the identified word. Like she knows anything about survival, muttered Shan, but May silenced him with a look. The cameras were on them now as they alighted on a wind-whipped mountain slope, while Berry Blue waved goodbye wildly. You'd better watch what you say, whispered May as both children took in the flying cameras orbiting the island, because we're on TV from now until we leave. Well, I was only about to say that down there it looks like a tropical paradise, cried Shin, his eyes dazzled by the sweep of ocean far below the mountain, the sun glinting off the waves. Down below, fresh off the speedboat, Mr. Walpole was about to say the same thing, but his wife beat him to it. Sun, sand, sea, she exclaimed. There's nothing like the simple pleasures in life. Oliver rolled his eyes. His parents vacationed at fancy hotels that had room service, not only for dining, but also for treatments, pillows, and towels. What did they know about simple? I'm going to pause here for a minute. So, did you recognize anything about the Walpoles and maybe the survival on the island? I agree. They do not seem to be prepared for the challenges they will have. When the text indicates this, quote accurately. Seems like they think it's a vacation, right? Did you have text evidence? Did you get a picture with her? Shin's mother asked, leaning forward in her seat. She looks famous. This is page 4 of what we've already read. What I would like for you to do is read through this page again. But I want you to notice where the author describes Shin Lu's reaction to his mother when she comments on Berry Blue and how she looks famous. When we see that Shin Lu bit down hard on his tongue, we can recognize that as figurative language. Did he really bite his tongue? The author continued by saying it wouldn't be appropriate to give his mother attitude. Did you see that right here? She's a little glamorous. No, let's look up there. I'm sorry. Yeah, right here. Okay, so let's continue. But his behavior and attitude were still there when he talked to his sister. Did you see how he criticized his sister, but he didn't criticize his mother? Why do you think? What do you think the differences were? He was still irritated, even at the bottom of the page. He calls his sister silly, and he's irritated. It says, directing his irritation at her. I don't think he's irritated with his sister. He's irritated with his mother. I wonder if he's irritated about anything else. Identifying how characters respond with each other in a story helps us understand the text better. We're going to be doing this some more, but now what I would like for you to do is think about the assignments. So far we have identified academic words and meanings indicated from context clues in the text. We have also identified relationships between the family members. And we have used explicitly what the text said to make inferences about the story. So now let's demonstrate our success. Here is your assignment. Use each of the vocabulary words in your own good sentences. Think about how they are used in the text and then use them based on the same definition. Then I would like for you to, in your journal, list the contestants, the main characters, and what you notice about the relationships in each family unit. Finally, I want you to look at the challenge. On slide 15, there are several words and phrases underlined. Identify the meaning of these words and phrases based on the context clues. quote from the text to explain your answers. Fifth graders, you can do this. I believe in you.